out some stats to you now. These are actual statistics about the number of kids from different backgrounds that get 5 or more GCSEs. We're going to start from the top. We're going to go down to the bottom. This is true, and it's astonishing. Listen, 75% of Chinese kids get 5 or more GCSEs. 50% of Bangladeshi kids get 5 or more. Indian kids, the same. Half, 50%. Black Africans, 43%. Pakistani kids, 37%. Black Caribbean, 23%. At the very, very bottom, the worst performing demographic of all in our own country, white British kids on free school meals, 18%. 18%. And nobody gives a damn about them in Westminster. Andy Burnham can get his high horses about the working classes. Every successive Prime Minister before him used the working classes as a stepping stone. They bang on about workers' rights. They never, ever gave these kids a damn. And now, here we are.
So, white children are apparently doing very, terrible in school. Like, it's rough. And you've got working class white children are only getting 5 or more GCSEs. Only 18% are getting 5 or more GCSEs. And now, it just makes me think, how all them white people used to complain that they're stealing our jobs? Well, now you're going to have they're stealing our GCSEs. Because apparently, working class white people can't pick themselves up by their bootstraps. It seems to be that's a problem going on in the UK. Working class white people cannot pick themselves up by their bootstraps, and they are failing. Along with every other race, every other ethnicity, if we're talking about working class, and that's what's going on in the headlines right now, what we're actually talking about, if you actually do the research, it's those on free school meals. And in order to qualify for free school meals, you have to have a household income of less than £7,400 a year. Meaning your parents are earning basically nothing, so you get access to free school meals. So we're talking about the poorest of the poor working class white students and the poorest of the poor of every other of those ethnicities that he named. And it just makes me think that it seems that when you level the playing field, in one aspect, this is just talking about basically income. We're talking about low income families. It seems that when you level the playing field, even a little bit, your children fail. I thought that, apparently you people are supposed to have like high IQ. You go around calling everybody else low IQ, and you went around the world civilizing this, that, and the third. But the poor of you can't pick yourselves up by your bootstraps like you would tell us to do. Like, we've been failing in schools, and they have been, there have been plenty of programs and, what they call them, policies that oppress us in schools. All you have to fight is lack of income. You're just poor. We've been poor and subject to systemic racism, and we're still doing better than you. We as a people that don't even know who they are according to the Bible have all sorts of, programs and initiatives set out to destroy us. And we're still whooping your backside when you level the playing field in terms of economics. But in actuality, the schooling system isn't failing white working class children. In actuality, what's failing those white working class children on free school meals is the parenting. Like, you have all those poor working class people that spending all their time in the pub drinking, plenty of bottles of Stella and, shouting for England or Arsenal or Man United, whatever football team it is. You're protesting the Tommy Robinson marches and blaming everybody else for your problems instead of helping your child with their homework. Instead of making sure your child is paying attention in schools. I think that's mainly the problem. The problem isn't all of a sudden now there's a problem, and it's very suspicious to me that all of a sudden, and mind you, these figures, these statistics have been going on for a while. Poor white children do terrible in school, the same way poor people of every ethnicity do terrible in school, but specifically white people are on the bottom. And it seems that white people generally can't just can't handle being on the bottom of anything. You know, it kind of messes with their superiority complex.
But cool, Alban. What
Go
what what
ahead,
you saying?
sir.
What you saying is so key.
Mm,
It's key, man. It's like imagine oppressors can be the best at something when they're
right.
ruling, when they're rich, when they're on top. When you
Mm-hmm.
level the playing field, when you're broke, I'm broke. You fail. So you look at they all say, oh, black men got low IQs and just not
Mm.
smart. They just don't pay attention. And
They're
you're
just
comparing
lazy.
us. You're comparing us to the richer people, the smartest, the ones that went to Oxford. When we
Mm,
level the playing field, when it's broke and broke, when it's poverty and poverty, we perform better than you do. We're broke and we become rap stars. We're broke and we become football players. We're broke and
mm.
we become the best best in FIFA, the best in the NBA. You're broke, you fail in school.
I mean,
You
good
know what I mean?
night.
Let you know that we are better than you, man. We're just better than you, man.
Damn
Sorry,
right.
man.
It's just straight up and down, sir.
I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
one more thing as well. Sorry,
go
let me
ahead,
cut you. One
sir.
more
Go
thing.
ahead, rock it out.
When we're failing in school, why is it, oh, yeah, you got to pull your socks up, man?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, no, you're a complainer. You know what I mean? No one's to blame but yourself. Maybe if your mum wasn't out having all these kids, well,
mm.
why we're saying the school system been failing us for years, man. And
Right,
you told us to pull our socks up. And you know me, got no one to blame but yourself. So listen, I don't want to hear no complaining, man. Pull your socks up, man. Get out of the pub. Stop complaining about who taking these jobs and stop the boats, and go help your kids with their homework, man. That's what I
right.
want to see. I don't want to see you in the pubs no more, drinking a Stella and a Carling, and the England, the St George Cross
Mm.
painted on your
On your
beer
face.
belly,
Right,
on your beer belly. You know,
right.
I'm like a hooligan. I want to see you getting in them books, man, and teaching your kids how to read and how to count, man. A lot of you oppressors can't even read neither, man. Sorry, I
I mean,
yield.
good night. Good night. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you go around saying they're stealing our jobs, and it's mainly like a lot of these the people that are protesting. It's your poor working class people who are just failures at everything, and are just looking for somebody else to blame because it couldn't be your fault. It couldn't be the fact that you're just lazy, you're a bum, you don't have no education, you never tried. You're just, it's the immigrant that came over here with qualifications. He became a doctor and he stole your job. You who doesn't have any GCSEs and missing majority of your teeth and go out get pissy drunk every night. He stole your job because it seems to be everybody else's fault aside from your own. And I'm reading these.
You know
Go
what I
ahead,
call
sir.
them? Everything they call us, I call them complainers, man. They're
Mm,
complainers. They moan about stuff,
I
and
mean, good
they
night.
got a chip on their shoulder that no one to
Chip on their
blame but
shoulder. Yep.
themselves. Now the shoes on now the shoes on your foot. Now I want to see how you're gonna justify this one. I want to justify this one
Mm,
about people stealing our jobs. You're not qualified for them jobs, man. Still, you couldn't do it, man. You couldn't be
right.
a doctor. Your kids are failing at school, man. Get out of the pub, man, and go raise them kids, man.
Absolutely, sir. And I'm reading these articles, and a generation reforms needed to fix an education system that isn't serving the interests of white working class children. An independent inquiry has concluded. And when I was reading through, it says here the inquiry found a growing belief among white working class families that the current education system does not guarantee future success. Why would you ever believe that an education system guarantees future success? What other people believe that? I'll tell you what, the people who are actually doing better than you in school don't believe that the education system guarantees future success. I think that's the problem. The problem is you're complacent. The problem is you're lazy, and you think that going to school whenever you feel like, because you have the highest rate of absences and severe absences, and just puffing on your vape all day in class is supposed to guarantee you future success. That right there to me, sir, is white privilege. That right there is just a very telling sign.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what it is, man. Like, I like the word you used when you said, when you level the playing field. I like that, man. Like, they do perform. I can't deny that. They perform. They're astronauts and everything, but they're doing better than us. Why? Because they got a head start. They got a head start,
Right.
man. I mean, with Dungle bars and analogy. It's like you're playing Monopoly and you're starting fresh. And meanwhile, that man that's been playing Monopoly 10 hours before you, he's lapped the board 4 or 5 times, he's bought all the properties. Of course, you can't catch up. Of course, that man can
Right.
look back and say, yo, how could you got... Of course, the man can look back and say, yo, I got more properties than you. How come you ain't got no properties, man? Of course, he's been playing the game longer than you, he's been better than you, while you was picking cotton. He was going to the moon. While you was, trying to get out of the ghetto, you know what I mean? He's going to the moon and doing all these types of stuff. So no wonder he's more advanced than us. So they do better than us. But when you level the playing field now, we always succeed, man. We always succeed, man. When you got a rich black man against one of theirs, we succeed. When you got a poor one against one of theirs, we always succeed, man. So luck you out, man.
You're absolutely
And
right,
you mean
sir.
sorry as
But
well. And this any oppressor out there should feel disgusted, man. You mean to tell me you're doing worse than black people?
it's rough.
Listen, man, you should feel ashamed. You're doing worse than a man in school whose mum got to work 3, 4, 5 jobs because of oppression
Calm.
and got no time to do a kid's homework. A man that's oppressed and not a man oppressed and not in the house. And a kid ain't got his father around. A kid that's ducking and dodging gangs and bullets. And your kids are doing worse than him. It's a lot about you, man. You lot are terrible parents, man. It's a lot, yeah.
Terrible parents, terrible people. You teach. I mean, you teach a child that the immigrants are taking all our jobs. So what job does your child have to aspire to? You're teaching them that that there's everything that goes wrong is an immigrant's fault. And so when they do poor in school, when they don't apply themselves, it's not their fault.
And I'm screaming more fire, more fire. Give them more fire, more fire. I just gotta pray for more fire, more fire. I'm hoping he coming more fire, more fire.